Hey, I do yoga, man. I'm tough.
You're gonna get bendy and bouncy with the yoga.
I hate yoga.
I was telling James earlier I started yoga. I'm giving it a go. 30 days. They have this package, 30 days unlimited. I said, okay, I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to keep an open mind and give it a shot. And
You know what?
I got to admit, I don't. Pardon me?
It'll help.
I hope so. But I find it weird. It's weird. It's slow.
It's because you don't know anything yet.
And they do a lot
Once you start learning and you start getting into the fundamentals of it.
Hopefully. Well, I'll give you a full report. But I'm going to push hard. And, even if I'm sort of 50-50 on it, I'm still going to keep going with it because, when you get older, you got to do something. And I believe it's important. So we're live, by the way. I started recording about a minute ago. So the idea behind this, let's just talk about the idea and how this all started. It was totally on a whim. The three of us were doing a bullpen last month, and I just thought, wouldn't that be cool if we just sort of did a podcast?
And I think that's great.
That's it, man.
That's it. That's how it happened, right?
And just chit chat. Because we were doing a lot of chit chatting in the judging. That probably wasn't a good time to do it. So there you go.
So
still means that we're gonna do it during the judging too. But
and it's fun to talk shop. I had a Christmas gathering with a bunch of photographers, and we used to have those with the association, which I'm no longer a part of, and that's one of the items maybe we can touch on. So we're going to talk about all things mostly photography, right? Mostly.
Yeah.
That's just seems to be where it gravitates to. So we had this Christmas dinner, which James was too busy to attend, and everybody talks shop. But I've always enjoyed that because it feels like family, So it's kind of cool because it's a common, shared, mutual interest: photography, business, marketing, and all that good stuff. So, and it's always exciting. So that's pretty much the background, and I believe the core, gist and thrust and purpose for us being here together. We are gathered here. We are gathered here with our Christmas hats.
What do we want to start with?
Absolutely anything. Well, maybe you had a good idea when we were sort of bantering back and forth about different ideas as to topics and what have you. So let me just quickly, because I'm going to throw this on YouTube. You guys are okay with that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, if it becomes a thing, too, it'd be kind of cool, too. Maybe we'll get a following or something. And
you never know.
It'd be really good for my ego. My ego needs that right now. Have a following.
Put it that way there.
My daughter's 21 years old, and we talk about the industry, and I'm trying to get her to understand what's really, really important, right? And she has some of her friends that are really good photographers, and they have all these followers on Instagram, but they're not making any money, but they're really jealous about other photographers who are just starting out, and they're getting more followers than them. And it's like this crazy drama, like a soap opera with no back.
I'm going to throw this out there.
Throw it.
But we should have her on for a show.
You're on, man. Let's bring
it. We should go with it. We can get like our perspective, and then they're kind of interesting.
Yeah, well, she sort of gets it. She thinks it's all pretty silly, but at the same time, she's sort of like, geez, I wish I had a following too, I think. So, but anyways.
But people lose the it's all great and everything to have a following, but the following has to be people who are interested in what you're producing.
Yeah. Well.
Right? To a point.
But, I mean, if you're doing it just...
If you're doing it for a business.
I mean, but they're doing it just, there's nothing behind it. It's just...
Exactly. It's just about popularity.
It gives them a sense of, I don't know, they're getting attention. It makes them feel good. So it's like a
social thing. Yeah.
So, but anyways, how did I get into that topic, and why did it come up? I can't remember. I was going to say we're going to throw it on YouTube. Maybe we'll get a following. Just so for those who are on YouTube and are kind of like, who are these weirdos? You can see my screen, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And So that's me on the beach of Tamarindo. I live in Sudbury. Got a photography studio up here. Weddings, families, portraits. There's Judy. You can see Judy's screen.
Yeah.
Judy has the greatest job in the world, photographing naked women all the time. And I'm going to show you Senor James, who sort of comes from the deep, dark bowels of the earth, photographing big yellow monsters. Hey, James, that was a post you put on Facebook today.
Randy, yes, and Randy was pointing out, like, the grader in, nobody got my joke, but, so grader is actually grader, Grader, but when I was a kid, ever since, and even my friends when we were all kids, like, it was always grader, like Gretor.
Oh, okay.
Grator, like a grader. I always used to call it that, so I put that in there, but he's like, it's spelled grader.
I didn't notice that.
I know.
It was a spelling thing.
But this is probably the complete opposite of what on Judy's spectrum.
I would say.
Right? Like we're like on totally opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's a good mix, the three of us. Good mix.
I think it's awesome. I think that's.
Judy, do you like photographing babies and children? There's my studio there, by the way, and family.
Not on your life, no.
No? Are you serious, really?
No.
No.
Children, well, in a more creative manner. I do creative shoots with kids, but not little kids.
Okay, cool. So that's kind of cool because I love photographing kids. You know, I just absolutely love it. And
I hate family photography.
Oh, do you really? I didn't know that about you.
Yeah, don't like it at all. And newborns, you'd have to kill me first.
We are a strange. Well, we're like the trifecta of opposites.
I know.
You, me,
but you know, I tried, right?
Yeah.
Like
Except you don't have a cool Christmas hat. We do. So.
No, I don't. I don't like maternity either.
No.
No. So I typically don't do maternity. I have one coming up that's more of a creative maternity shoot, and that's with the girl that was actually on my website when you first clicked in that had all the tattoos. She's pregnant with her third.
Oh, nice. Her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's pregnant with her third, and so...
are you going to throw a little twist into the maternity portrait?
We're going to do gel.
You're going to put like your version of maternity portrait?
Yeah, it's going to be a gel shoot.
Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm using reds and blues and great gelled strobes with her, and she's got the colored hair and everything.
Nice.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how it kind of comes out. And she's really cool. So.
Yeah. Well, you got to be cool to have that look going on. Look at her.
Yeah, and she's like super stoked about it. She really wants to do it. So.
And how can you say no to her? I mean, she's a client, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what would you call that if you were to give it a name? The disco, or give it a name? All the gel. I'm sort of seeing it where you're going.
It's like a color vibe.
Disco vibe.
Yeah. Disco vibe. I don't know, but with her tattoos and everything,
yeah,
that could be really cool, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
We're going with like some blues and reds and.
Yeah, and then I've seen it done with Beyonce, and you can tell that they shimmered her body.
Right.
So I'm thinking.
Did you look that up to see what they used?
That was me. I shot that.
No, I have to look into that because I want to be able to actually bring out the tones in her skin and all the tattoos on her body and everything like that, and really make that all stand out. And then the fact that it's a maternity, I think, will make it even cooler.
I think so for sure.
I just want to point something out. Look how big my forehead is.
Lean your forehead in. Ooh.
It's my big head.
How big is the silver part of that microphone? Because it almost looks like you've got the same.
There you go.
My brains are being squeezed right now. Look at how nice it fits James. But James, you look like Colonel Custard in the Santa Claus hat.
Like I have like no.
You like my chicken.
So it's exciting, Judy. So when does that happen? How many months pregnant is she?
She will be 7 to 8 months in February. So that's when we're going to do it.
Okay, so you got bit of time to plan.
No bit of time, yeah. So now I'm researching it, and I already have the gels because they came as part of my with the barn doors
Right.
package. So I have all the gels and everything. So I'm going to experiment shooting it.
Paco gels. So
Yes.
you're not a strobe shooter. What are you doing gelling?
Well, I have strobes, and I have the barn doors, and they came with the set. So what the hell?
Yeah, but you're natural light, Judy. I mean, all these images.
I'm not. I don't just use natural light. I use strobes a lot.
All right, cool. I'm just calling you out on it, man. That's all I'm doing. I'm just calling you out because I always just assumed that you were. I thought you hated strobes.
No, I use strobes for half my shoots when I do dark sessions and everything. They're all done with strobes.
Strobes and newborns, same category.
No, no.
All right, so tell me, what kind of strobes do you have? How long have you had them? And
I have Alien V White Lightnings,
okay, you got a bunch of them, and
3 of them, and I've had them for
all right.
2-3 years.
I'm curious about these gels. Is it a gel holder?
Yeah. Okay, so you know the barn door system?
No, I'm not familiar with it. Sorry.
Well,
James, do you have one there?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I've got one here, actually.
okay, so it's like a barn door thing, and it goes on the front of the small silver reflector that comes with the light.
Yeah. Oh, I think I remember now.
And then you just drop the gels into it. It's got like a holder, and you just drop.
You got a cardboard holder there, and you put them in, and it drops them nicely. And you can actually stack them up. You can put 2 or 3 in there.
Yeah, you can, exactly. You can stack your gels, and I even have a slot where you can put what are they called? The grids in there too.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's almost like the Pro 4 system. You remember for the Hasselblad and that there, Rob?
Yeah, a little bit.
Filter system.
And you know what? It was like super.
And then but instead of flipping them in, it just drops in.
Drops in.
Yeah.
But it's super cheap. It was inexpensive. I got
it. I just went to Michael's, and you just get like the different color settings. Make your own gels and stuff.
Yeah, you can totally make your own. The only thing, there it is. It looks
that's
something
it there.
like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Holy jeez. Okay, good. Yeah. The gels.
And the nice part of it is the gels don't get hot and they don't melt.
No, they're super gels.
Yeah, it keeps them away from the heat, so that's really good. The downside is you only have a very small reflector to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's fine.
But the idea, I think, with colored gels is you're targeting your light a lot more anyways. It's very contrasty type light. It's not like a big softbox and you're blowing the crap out of them, right? So that's not supposed to look like that anyway. Like I have the grid system.
Yeah.
I have beauty-ish. So I've got all kinds of modifiers, but I don't use the barn doors as much as I'd like to, so I'm gonna use that system for this and see how it comes out.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the.
And you shoot them on a white paper roll backdrop so that it doesn't. So you have no weird colors coming off the back and everything like that. Yeah.
I gotta get some bulbs. I blew a bulb last week.
So when you gel it, it's going to be very, very colorful. Strong, I'm assuming strong. The light's going to be sort of harsh, coming in from different angles, probably from the side, maybe in behind.
Yeah. Do you want me to? I was going to say I could have sent you a sample shot from. They're all on my Pinterest. I have them all kind of saved.
Yeah.
I use Pinterest to compile my creative ideas all the time.
Yeah.
And I have them in there. So.
Me too. I have a folder where I put all my swipe files that I steal from other photographers, images that I want to either be inspired by or create.
Yeah, so what inspired me was a photo shoot of Beyonce that was done.
Yeah,
and it's all done with, it was all colored gels. The whole thing.
Well, if you want to, while we're shooting the breeze here, if you want to go open up your Pinterest page, because I can show you a screen, and, you know, at some point in time we can show it.
Okay.
I'm looking at the images from
Cool.
Beyonce. I see what you mean there, Judy.
What's her name? Hold on, I'm going to go. I'm probably still there. I'm opening my Pinterest. Lindsay Adler, who is also somebody that I follow quite a lot.
Yeah. Danielle talks about it all the time.
Yeah, she does a lot of gelled type shoots. She uses it quite a bit in her shoots as well, which is kind of cool.
I thought she did all location stuff.
No, not all the time.
Just like you do, only natural light.
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
look at that. That's some cool stuff.
Lindsay Adler shoots a lot. Like there's some colored gel stuff there.
All right.
Are you sharing my screen right now?
Not yet. I'm on Lindsay Adler's site.
Oh, her site's like rocks.
There
Totally
it is.
rocks.
Can you see it?
Hold on. I'm going to come back to the go-to. Oh, yeah. Like friggin' awesome, right?
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Totally beautiful stuff. But she uses she works a lot with, like this is colored gels right here.
Yeah.
That one in the top left there. So she uses it quite a bit, but what inspired me was, and hold on,
Beautiful
just
stuff.
trying to find my passion board. There it is right there.
So,
Okay, so if you share my screen, Beyonce's right there. Can you share it?
hold on. Bum, bum.
Ta-da.
Coming your way. Should show up.
What do I have to do? It says download to become a presenter.
I guess you got to download.
Oh, okay.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah.
It's
Extension.
scary stuff.
Well, I have to do that anyways eventually, so there you go. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
You see your screen.
There we go. Can you see my screen?
Yep. Pinterest. There's Pinterest.
There it is. So there's those Beyonce shots.
Oh, nice. So that's
Nice.
what you're going to do.
That's what
Good.
I'm going to do. And then there's actually a little bit more down here too. Hold on. So see this one? There's another one right there. And see, so that's the whole shoot. So I love that. I think that's amazing.
Cool.
And then you put a girl with tattooed and colored hair, and then you add the fact that she's pregnant. I think that's really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So that's what's coming up.
I'm inspired.
Come up with a name.
Yeah, I gotta come up with a name of it. I don't
Come
know.
up with a name.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out sooner or later. But yeah, so there you go.
Cool. Totally inspired.
So you want to stop sharing now? So I'll stop. Do I have to hit stop sharing, or do you just automatically go back?
I went back to mine. I clicked it.
Cool.
Well, that was kind of cool. Thanks for sharing that, because, I think we got to always be reinventing ourselves as photographers. Unless you're shooting mining stuff, then it's just it's pretty straight up, right, James?
It's pretty straightforward.
No, that's what intimidates me.
I don't get a lot of direction from my subjects.
No.
No, I guess not.
Actually, the direction I do get is, front, reverse, left, right.
Well, let's talk about our last year. I think James go first, Judy second, then I'll go third. Since we're talking about mining, and you could tell us how it's been. You seem to have been really, really busy these days. I see you all the time.
Busy, yeah.
30 below zero outside, shooting in the snow,
So,
all kinds of weather.
I was going to see another topic, but we can roll one topic in to this. So I was going to suggest we talk about maybe one of the marketing things we did this year that was very successful.
You did what?
I'm going to suggest that we talk about maybe the one marketing thing we did this year.
Oh, okay.
That was very successful.
Yes.
So but since we're going to talk about our year, we'll just talk about our year, including that. Right? So anyway, yes, I have been busy. Things have been pretty good. I picked up a lot of new clients, and then plus my repeat clients. So yeah, I've been busy, waiting. Never know with my job. I don't know what next month's going to bring. I could be busy. I might not be. But so far things have been really good. The one thing that I've done for marketing wise is I really ramped up the social media game with my Twitter and my Instagram and my LinkedIn accounts. So with my blog as well, my website. So again, I'm posting something from each of my sessions as much as I can, and then letting it all go through everywhere else, and really using the LinkedIn, which is the professional network for business. So a lot of the executives in that are my clients that are in there. So, and that's been working.
So LinkedIn.
Yeah.
and Twitter would seem to be the two big ones for you, since you're more in a commercial B2B business. You're in the business.
Yeah, Instagram too, working really well.
Really, eh? The guys in your industry are on Instagram?
The companies are.
Really?
Right? That's great.
Yeah, and if it's not just them, but then like manufacturers, like I want to look into the agriculture, so I started getting stuff in the farming industry on my Instagram, right? So keeping tabs on that industry, and just kind of see how in the next maybe 3 to 5 years I can somehow wage into that.
That's wicked smart, man. Wicked smart. So, Randy Sarton from Knoxville, Tennessee. He swears by Twitter.
We should get him in here for one too. We should have like some good guests.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll get him in here for that.
Yeah, because I love their accent. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what. So, I never touch LinkedIn. I can't stand LinkedIn. I don't get it, but then I know it's there. But do you find like Twitter and Instagram? Are you like hashtagging and these people, these companies, so they find you?
Yeah.
Spreads the word.
And then some of the companies are retweeting stuff that I put on my Twitter, which goes onto all of their followers and everything.
Yeah, cool. That's the best way to get it.
So you're self-employed, and you got to really, really entrench yourself with these people.
Yeah.
You said a minute ago you were not too sure, which is the nature of the beast when you're self-employed. Anything could change.
Well, the only thing you can do is work your butt off and hope it's good enough.
Yeah.
That's all you can do, right?
Yeah.
You really gotta. And I mean, we all touch on this. We touch on this almost every time the three of us talk.
So you're going after new markets too, like farmers? That would seem good.
I'd like to. I don't know what there is. When I say I don't know what there is.
As lucrative though either.
It wouldn't be as lucrative, but it'd be right up there. I think.
What about?
What I have to look at is that I got to see how big the agriculture industry is in my area, and I know it's a big industry. What I mean is for a photographer. Right. I need to know if I go and I look at their marketing materials. I downloaded the company's, annual reports and stuff like that to see what they're using photography-wise, to see if they're hiring professional or not hiring professional. So I'm just still doing my research to see if there is something there for me that I should go forward.
So you're not.
And that's going to take years. That's not something like that. I'm going to put 3 months into it and start shooting by the end of next year. Like I'm going to look at a 3 to 5 year plan to get into there.
So when you talk farmers in the farm industry, you're not talking about farmers per se. It's more you can almost encompass, if you were to describe what your sort of ideal client. You're after manufacturers of big equipment.
That too, yes.
That could be farmers.
And I'm not talking about farmers. I am talking about farmers as well.
Yeah, but
some of them are fairly big. I'm talking about the farmers that produce for the world.
Right. Yeah, not small
countries. Yeah. So, but I got to start in my area and then work way up.
Well, there's going to be some sort of the demand for cannabis farmers coming up pretty soon.
You think?
It's going to be legal. It's going to be legal.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently. That's cool, James. Tell me, James, one thing you're really proud of the last year that the rest of the world would say, man, that guy is weird, or he's insane, or he's out of his mind. One thing. Can you think of something?
No, not really.
That's a weird question, but...
it is, but...
something you really...
No, I'm a pretty low-key guy.
Yeah.
Just plugging away at it, right, James?
Plugging away at it and doing everything else I love. The one thing that I could take away from this year is you really got to make time for yourself. So it's literally work a little bit harder to get that extra time off, and I'm not talking weekends. And you got to take a day off every once in a while.
Yeah.
I had that goal of taking every Friday off, and it worked out. So. Now if I can get down to that 2-day work week.
Well,
yeah.
no, that's a bizarre concept because most people are working 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. So there you go.
And I'm doing that, and I'm doing that. But
You just answered it. You just answered it. You just answered it. So you're calling the shots. But if some sweet deal came along and it was a Friday, you'd take it if you had to. 1 hour.
Of course. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Well, of course. Yeah. Don't say no to business.
No.
So it's been a good year?
Been a good year. Yeah. Been a good year. So I'm actually looking forward to 2017 to see what some of the stuff I've done this year, marketing wise and that, and just to see if it comes into effect in 2017. So.
I'm taking my hat off. It's hurting my head.
You look like you're like.
I'm just keeping my head warm because I'm like frozen in here. I got like a little heater right here, like my little heater and everything.
Oh my God.
I'm sitting there thinking like, why am I wearing a bloody t-shirt? I should have my sweater on right now.
I know, I'm in sweaters and everything because it's always like 5 degrees colder on this level than it is upstairs.
That's why I had to go. Get a hot tea.
Or bare feet.
Yeah.
Rob does not wear shoes or socks anymore.
No?
No, I've been wearing dress shoes and socks the last 3 months. I've been dressing up a lot more in my business. When I used to wear t-shirts and jeans and sandals all the time. But today, the fact that I'm bare feet is unusual. It just happened.
I like that look for you. The shirt and the vest. And that.
Yeah, I went and bought a whole crap load of shirts and vests and bought some brand new designer shoes. I got 4 pairs. I'm like, that's not me, but it is now.
Yeah, it's kind of, but it is you now.
It's like going through a phase, you know. I'm going through a phase. I'm reestablishing myself. So
it's like, you know, John Ratchford. If you took away those glasses, you'd be like, this is something, right? That would be like if you went back to like just wearing t-shirts or something.
Yeah.
Where's the dress shirts for us?
I look back at some of the pictures. I mean, I get a little embarrassed. I think, what was I thinking? But I was going through a real sort of like hippie phase, I guess. And that
Boho artist phase?
Yeah, and that was part of why I sort of really minimized and I got rid of the big studio, the big house, and, you know, started spending a lot more time in Costa Rica, and I don't know, it was just a phase. It's middle-aged crazy. It was part of that whole idea, and
It kind of helps you redirect your energy, though, don't you think?
Yeah.
When you go through stuff like that, it's like
you really, it does. In a sense, it does. It helps you, and helped me, anyways, rethink everything and recalibrate everything. Refreshes and renews, and getting rid of everything. You know, there's a book out there. I forget, some Asian lady who wrote this book, and it's all about decluttering your life. And there's a real spiritual, mental, and whatever else that ends with AL to it, that it's very purifying as far as, you know. Well, you know that, James. Every time I did goal setting, it was like one of the categories is clean your messes, whether they be. That's why you
got to keep your car clean.
Keep your car clean. Keep your closets clean. Keep your no debts, no addictions, no emotional baggage, all that crap. So there's a real power to minimizing. And so when I was going through all that too, I read this. It was right around the time that Steve Jobs died. So I read his book, and that was, I'm not going to say that was the thing that really inspired me, but that was really in line with where I was going on in my life, because he was a minimalist, bare bones, and he was bare feet all the time too. Simple. Yeah. But that was then. Now I'm sort of like back in the business, and I don't know why. I cannot figure.
Well, now you've got like a whole studio thing going on again.
Yeah, but it's different. I don't know why it's different.
You know what
I don't know why.
It's almost like you went through this, like you almost like went through this little transformation.
And then you went full circle.
You kind of come out and you kind of reinvented yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you got to do that.
Like Gandalf. You were like Gandalf the Grey, and all of a sudden you're coming out and you're like, oh, you're like Gandalf the White now. you know. And now the stuff that you're going to start producing in studio is going to be like, you know, like, of course, it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be big, and you know, and it's going to be a whole new chapter of photography.
Pressure's on now, James.
Studio.
So I hope you're right. But
yeah, I hope so, because that wasn't your plan. Well,
here's the thing. Have you guys ever wanted to quit photography?
Oh, yeah.
So how many years have you been in it, Judy?
It'll be 18 years in February.
James, you've been in it, what, 15?
No, I've been in it around 23, 24 years.
No, professionally.
Well, professionally, since 2001. So, yeah, 15 years.
So 15 years.
Yeah.
Me, I started in 84. And, you know, back then I was Mr. Suit guy, you know, with the corduroy blazer and the patches on the elbows.
I got pictures I can show.
I had the mustache, you know, and the hair. And then that all went away.
The hair.
I had the hair. And then, but that all
all the time.
And that went away. 1988, I let my hair grow and I turned into a hippie. You know why? I don't know why. I don't know if the fact that I met Steve Rudd at a live seminar, it really inspired me. Or if it could have been anybody, but I was ready for a change. So, but here's my point.
Coolest band. You had the 18 band. That was the coolest thing ever.
He really did inspire me, but it could have been anybody. I mean, whoever at the time is there.
Oh, no, he did awesome work, though. Those videos he had were wicked. And they were good.
It really helped me tap into my inner artist. So here's my point. Here's my point. It's like the whole career, you have these highs, and then you go down. You're like, shit, I fucking hate this. I want to do something else. And I've done that a million times. I'm going to do something else. And then it comes back. And then I realize, no, this is what I meant to do. This is really, it's the way I feel anyways, really what I meant to do. And then I reinvent myself. And it's really kind of cool because, I don't know, it's just kind of cool. I think that's, for me, and you look at guys, okay, you look at like Lindsay Adler and Bella Kotak, these kinds of people, and Sue Bryce. A lot of these people live in a different universe than what I'm used to. I think a large part of where they're at is also they do a lot of teaching. So,
yes.
You know, Sue Bryce definitely, and I don't know where I'm going with all this, but it's just kind of, I'm just kind of vomiting this shit out. And I'm putting...
Well, because I followed both, like those two in particular, Lindsay Adler and Sue Bryce, their work has changed completely from how it was like 5 or 6 or 7 years ago.
So they're going through that too?
Yeah, absolutely. They're going through major milestones in their own businesses and how they're going about it all.
Yeah. So I think that that's a big part of this career is going through changes, and that's where I'm at right now. So Judy, you have to. Judy, you have to adapt and change. Yeah. Well, okay, I just want to mention one thing. Sometimes I look back and I go, shit, good thing I didn't quit. Good thing I didn't quit because I'm feeling really good about it now.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's you know, thinking going long term in photography, don't get discouraged, man. You got to push through because there are many, many, many times when you just feel like quitting and throwing in the towel or doing something different.
Yeah.
Watch next month. I quit. I leave. I go to Costa Rica and I start a yoga shop.
He's like, I'm leaving. I'm never coming back.
I'll never pick up another camera again in my life.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be weird?
Rob's selling umbrellas on the beach or something.
No, right?
Yoga mats. Who's got yoga mats happening?
Happier than a pig in shit. Go figure. So, Judy, you've wanted to quit before, right?
Oh, yeah. This year actually was, I want to quit like every month.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Boy.
This was probably one of the toughest years I've had in the whole 17 years of working.
Why?
It was a shit year.
That's too bad.
Yeah. But it's kind of started to pick up a bit and maybe moving into a more positive, and it taught me a lot about diversifying myself. So that's where the retouching business came in.
No, I just got to clarify before you continue. Sorry to interrupt. When you say a shit year, what do you mean by that?
Well, okay, so if you take the 4 to 5 previous years,
Right.
I shot on average 100 to 150 clients.
Right. So
This year, less than 60.
So you're saying business is down?
Yeah,
Okay.
like really,
All right.
really.
All right.
And what they're purchasing dollar-wise has gone down. Now, I don't think that has anything to do with my shooting, because I actually think my shooting's gotten better. Like, I think my shooting gets better every year.
Right.
So I'm making some changes, and we'll see how it goes, and people seem to be responding to it. And then I started the retouching business, and that has actually is taking off and doing really well. So.
And you enjoy doing that?
Yeah. I like retouching other people's images.
That's kind of cool, because you come up with a solution.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of boudoir photographers out there that are shooting so much that they can't retouch their own work, right? So.
Who better to retouch boudoir work
than a boudoir photographer? Exactly. So it's become pretty big. I've got right now one of my main clients, Jennifer Rosenbaum is one of my main clients, and she's a big boudoir photographer in New York, does a lot of speaking.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of other ones that are regulars, and the business is expanding. Plus, I do work for another retouching company. So when they're overloaded and stuff, she'll email me and ask me if I'm available, and I'll do it.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So you're available if you have extra time. They're there to fill it in.
And it's all U.S. dollars. I'm getting paid for all this stuff, so it's bad.
Nice. So okay. So you had a shit year. You've kind of come up with that solution.
Yeah.
And you said you diversified. Like you've kind of stepped not out of the box again with your photography, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you're going on these little different avenues.
Yeah, I've changed.
And
I've added.
What happens if they pan right out and they're like huge successes? I mean, there's always a silver lining, right?
Exactly.
You might not have been pushed to do that.
Yeah. And then I have my baking business, which is totally not photography related. It's all good.
Did you know that I am an actual professional baking taste tester?
You are you?
You just send me a box of your best of the best, and I will tell you what I think.
Oh my God.
I didn't know that about you, James. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Crazy. And the nice thing is that my clients are all buying it.
Yeah. Nice.
Well.
So who are you selling your baking to?
Well, I sell it mostly to coffee shops. So they buy like the whole loaves and things like that, and they slice it up and sell it individually.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's
I can picture the whole new company, Baking and Booty.
Oh my God.
Well, that segues well into my next question or topic. But I want to get back just for a second and ask you about you're doing the retouching, because to me, retouching and your skills in Photoshop are so important.
Yeah.
In today's day and age, in order to help you create and enhance and modify your brand. You know, you look at these photographers and
like that was all like crazy. And people will say, oh, it's retouched and blah, 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 and that's not good. And I'm like, yeah, but look at her work. It's beautiful.
Start off with a very dynamic, but the two marry well.
The retouching enhances it, and was that what you're saying, Rob? They both marry well?
They marry well, yeah.
It's almost like you can't tell that it's not the same retouching, obviously, on each image.
No. It's very specific, like her.
It's very specific to that look.
So my point being that I've always said James used to work for our studio for 2 years working. He was hogtied to the computer when we first got into digital. We were doing a lot of work. And that was good training for you.
Oh, yes.
And who is it? Ben Shirk, when he came to the Inferno, he talked about he used as graphic designer, and he used to work doing catalog layouts. I mean, it's mundane, boring stuff. You're sort of doing that. Sort of doing a retouching for other photographers to me is like factory work, Judy. But
it is kind of, but not really.
But there's a creative element to it because you're doing boudoir. But here's where I'm going with this. I think it's really smart, by the way. for two reasons. One, takes away that stress if you're finding businesses down. Maybe this is a good plug and go between, or maybe like James said, maybe it'll grow into something much, much bigger. Or you were actually talking about the baking. I'm not sure, but it could be, the way I see it, it could really help you be a direct link between where your photography is going to evolve, possibly within the next 6 months, a year, 2 years.
Could be. And that is food photography, which is another thing I like to do.
So you retouching boudoir images for other photographers and for yourself will make you a better food photographer.
Yeah, so the food photography is what I'm actually researching and studying right now.
Nice.
I've been watching a lot of workshops on Creative Live about food photography and reading up about it and, you know, anything that I can get on it, because I have to create a website for my stuff.
Wow.
Who has to photograph it? I do.
Curious to see where that's all going to go.
Yeah, so I have to figure out a style for my stuff, and with food photography, it's not just about photographing. You know, like let's say I have a brownie. It's not about photographing the brownie. It's about photographing it styled.
Yeah.
Like all the ingredients and all that. You know what I mean? Like you have to think about how you style the food. And a lot of food photographers also do their own styling. So I got to be good at both of those things.
Well, these images from these photographers I've had on the screen, they're highly stylized.
Oh yeah.
As well.
See, what I was going to say is, like, I think it all comes down as being a retoucher. I think it comes down to whose work you're retouching. I mean, obviously the retoucher of that last, whoever did the last work, I mean, that's something to really, like, it's not just the model and the subject, but the retouching is, you know, the retouchers are always credited because the retouching is an art form in itself.
Well, especially like that hair work, that is like, I wouldn't even attempt to do work like that.
I think retouching could be very interesting.
Do you think that they're doing their own retouching?
It's the photographer that you're, you know, that you're doing the retouch for.
Yeah.
Because again, we all know that in how something is retouched can either A, make or break, or even determine which, you know, how the viewer perceives it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and then you have photographers like Nikki, who you're showing right now, and Maggie would be a good example, who finished their own work. They have a very specific style, and they would never consider outsourcing their work because how they finish it is part of how they sell it.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I got to tell you, Maggie will admits that she has ignored. Oh, she's got this music. Hold on.
Oh, here we go.
I hate music. She admits her website, she pretty much ignores it because she gets 99% of her work. She doesn't get it from the web. So.
Yeah.
But I'm just showing her site because this is a good point we're making, I believe, and you're touching on it, in that these guys are doing their own. They're doing their own retouching. They've become very, very prolific and creative and strong in Photoshop.
Well, and I'll tell you, Lindsay Adler is actually one of the photographers that I know that actually knows how to retouch her own work.
Nice.
So she probably does a good bunch of it, and then the odd time she'll source it out when it's like product work, like the hair work and that kind of commercial thing. But I've learned a lot from her. I've taken her Photoshop courses. They're amazing.
Who, Lindsay?
Yeah, yeah. She's done a few courses on Creative Live that were, wow, crazy, and I bought them because it's her knowledge. She's got really good Photoshop knowledge and great lighting knowledge.
Cool. Well, I'm inspired, man. So you're not giving up on doing boudoir. Obviously, it's your first loves. So you had a shit year. Maybe you have to also reinvent your boudoir and get it back up to where, I don't know, what are you comfortable with that? What if you get so busy doing baking and doing Photoshop for other photographers and they're just like maybe 60 to 70 a year? It's a really good amount.
It might be enough, but you have to sell a certain level.
Yeah.
And that's where my level has kind of like, I was going upwards and upwards and upwards, which of course you're supposed to every year, right?
Uh-huh.
And I feel like I went backwards 2 years.
What do you mean?
With the sales numbers per client.
Per client.
Yeah, we're talking the average sale per client.
But
So I feel like
30%, what, 30% less, 50% less?
Yeah, like I had it almost up to when I was pretty much almost guaranteeing myself like 1K per client minimum.
Yeah.
And I was lucky this year if I could hit 500. So it really depended on the client, you know, and it just
was the age difference? Was there an age difference in your client?
No, I have my age for my clients is about 30 to 50.
They got
That's
money.
You know?
So what do you need to do? You know what my initial guess is there's something that you're missing.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is.
You got to fill the gap in.
I don't know I don't know what's, well, okay, so I think part of the thing I needed to do was to start to hit some new clients, and build some new, which I have been working on that.
Yeah.
You know, building, I've been doing Facebook advertising. I have a private boudoir group.
See, I think your work is the key, and it's going to be through your retouching Photoshop skills.
I don't know what you mean.
Your work's good, right?
Yeah.
I think it needs to go up a level. Wherever that is, I don't know.
I don't know either.
And when that happens,
I think through your retouching that you're going to be like, because the more retouching you do for these other photographers, you're gonna.
And when that happens,
skills are going to happen. And when that happens, and you start retouching your own images,
oh, it has.
You're going to take them up another notch again.
It's really starting to affect how I'm finishing my own images.
And when that happens,
that's good.
You're not going to have more. You're going to have probably the same amount, but they're going to spend twice as much.
Well, and okay, and this is where I do think this has affected my view of how I'm presenting the images to the clients.
All right.
Because I've always, right up to this point, the end of this year, always showing images unedited.
Oh.
Okay? So just a quick, Lightroom, JPEG, show them to the clients, and only retouch the ones they buy.
Right.
Starting this January, that's all switching.
Well, there you go.
So now,
images?
Yeah, they're going to see only retouch. And I'm taking it from showing 70 or 80, 40. That's it.
You can even get away with between 25 and 35.
Yes.
I found the less selection you give them, the easier and quicker it is for them to decide.
Well, 40 is tough because I do shoot a lot. Like I shoot several outfits and I shoot a lot of variation. So 40 is actually 40 original shots. Like we're not talking. There's no.
And it's a good round number for if they want an album.
Exactly, because the top album I'm selling is 40. They can go to a 50-image album if they're doing a double session. So that's 2 style sessions. But then they only see 60. So 30 from each session, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is where I'm tightening it up and doing full edits. And
Cool.
So I
think you're on to something. Yeah. I think you're on to something. And then the next logical step.
We'll know the progress you're doing as throughout the year we do more of these. We'll know how how things are going.
That's right. I can let you know how things go. So starting January 1st is when all this starts. So
part of the reinvention process, and and part of that too, by the way, and you all know this, is selling, asking for more money, and knowing when to, you got to increase, and
trying to get them to buy all four. So this is I've also been changing my mentality. I've been reading a book series called Lucky Bitch,
right?
And it's all about basically. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's like I keep thinking about adding money, and always asking and it'll come, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so I've been reading that, and my mentality has to be that they're going to buy all 40 images.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right?
You know,
Of course.
so is this new for you? Is this a new thing for you, this mindset?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. New thing.
Because that's smart. That's really, really smart, man. I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
It's got to go into each meeting with the client thinking you're going to buy a 40 image album.
Yeah.
Well, you should just go in there thinking they'd be stupid not to.
Exactly. But how can they do that if they don't see how beautiful the images look? So all of them.
I agree. The fact that you're going to show finished product is you're going to, like Rob said, you'll be able to you'll go back increasing prices. You will be very comfortable shooting less people.
Yeah.
You're really going to brand the next stage of your business.
That's what I'm trying to do.
You're going to be selling in a vacuum. So that leads me to my next.
Remember the small people.
Yeah.
You do these webinars, and you're like in New York and doing your thing there.
Sure.
So my next question that I was trying to lead to 20 minutes ago, which is actually a good segue to, it ties in with your baking too, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Describe your ideal day. What's your ideal day look like? And I'm let's assume you're going to do some baking and retouching in there and shooting. Sounds pretty busy to me, but Judy, you go first. What's your ideal day look like? By the way, this is a really good exercise. I have my ideal day listed on my sheet of goals. I have goals that I work for the year.
Okay.
And on the bottom of the goals that I've listed out, I have my ideal day. What's it look like?
Oh, no.
You get up in the morning. What do you?
Yeah, I get up, I walk the dog, I come in, have my breakfast, sit down in front of the computer. Now, if the client's coming, they come at 10 in the morning. Okay? And the ideal week would be 2 shoots minimum.
2 shoots a week?
2 shoots a week. And then retouching a couple of days and baking a couple of days. And I deliver on Monday mornings for my baking stuff.
Right.
And I'd like to stop shooting on weekends. And okay. I do tend to be moving more towards that. My clients are coming Wednesday, Thursday, Friday now.
Right.
And I'm closed Sundays and closed Mondays.
So you're taking care of your time personally in there.
Yeah.
That's what you were talking about earlier.
And I actually consider the baking kind of my personal time because it gets me away from the computer. It's quite enjoyable. Right?
And then that's photographic.
That's fascinating that you're doing baking. What got you into baking anyways? Do tell.
Well, I was always a good baker. I'm not a great cook, but I love to bake.
A great cook, but you're a great baker, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's like, and you're making money at it, so.
And I'm making money at it. And that was because I moved here, okay?
Yeah.
And downstairs, I actually have 2 floors above a store that sells organic gourmet coffee.
Right.
And they couldn't keep bakers. And I would bake stuff, and of course, you guys know I've lost a lot of weight. I don't do a lot of this stuff, so I'd bake it and I'd take it downstairs to them.
You don't touch the stuff?
No, not really. Like I'll have
you try one, you taste it, you gotta try it.
I have one teeth,
yeah.
and then that's it for me because
you're
I've
disciplined.
lost 140 pounds and I want to keep that off.
That's pretty good.
So it's definitely a passion.
Yes.
You're doing it for the sake of baking.
Yeah, and they were the ones who got me started.
Yeah.
Right?
And asked me if I'd do it and if they could sell it, and I'm like,
that's awesome.
So I sat down and I actually approached this quite methodically. Figured out where I get all my supplies, how much all the supplies cost. I actually sat down and priced out all the recipes.
Right.
So I know what my costs are and everything before I even started this.
Exactly. Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Don't get high on your own supply.
That's it. But there you go. So.
What movie is that from?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
Don't get high on your own supply?
Scarface. Scarface, yeah.
Did you say our face?
Scarface.
Scarface.
Well, anyways, that's kind of my more like an ideal week.
Yeah,
And,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And I don't like to work at night. I like to have my evenings to myself. But sometimes I do have to work into the evening when I'm retouching, if I have a big retouch job to do.
Yeah.
But that's not all the time. So, you know.
So you're busy doing all those things. For the most part, you're pretty active.
Yes. But I like to try to keep a normal work week like a normal person. You know what I mean? Like I like to try to not work past 5, 6 o'clock. I like to be able to sit down and relax.
Yeah.
And so
all right.
That's what I've tried to do. Doesn't always work that way, but you try.
So your baking is like James fishing.
Yeah.
That's what keeps you sane.
Listen, this Christmas though, it's been work.
It's been what?
Work.
The baking's been work.
Okay. Is it because of demand?
Yeah.
Right.
Just because it's Christmas.
Yeah, it's temporary.
Yeah, temporary.
Cool.
I got 2 days of family baking I have to do.
And then the order that I'm going to be putting in once we
wrap it.
Don't forget to send James's taster, tester, sample box.
No, there's some stuff I won't test. Like I won't eat anything with raisins in it because I think they're gross.
I like raisins.
Oh.
And I don't eat coconut. So like
I love coconut.
Pineapple loaf. I'd never tried that.
Pineapple. Who can't get enough loaf?
But damn it, you can cook it up, eh? You can cook it up.
Yeah, that's it.
So James, what's your ideal day look like?
Get up with coffee, check emails, do marketing, stuff, get my social media out. If I'm not shooting, then I'm workflowing images. But an ideal day would be like get up, do that all over and get up, do my marketing, and then go fishing.
Go fishing. I knew that would fit in. Or jujitsu.
Do have to work and something.
And the MMA stuff, you're quite involved in that, right?
That too, yeah. So I work in the morning, go do class at 10 o'clock, come back home, do more work if I'm not shooting. If I do shoot, it's usually like either a 2-hour shoot or a full day shoot. And I just schedule them throughout the week except for Friday. And then I work till about 3:30, and then I go to the club and I work there till 7.
Doing the jiu-jitsu stuff.
Then I come home, and if I'm not training afterwards, I come home and I try to spend a couple hours on the couch with my wife. At least like to do that 3-4 times a week if I can. It's never possible because of that work, but
yeah.
And that's one reason why I don't work weekends anymore. I want to spend time with my wife. Enjoy my weekends.
Yeah, sure, right?
Because when you shoot lots of weddings and everything, it was just
you lose your weekend.
All my family, like every Saturday. And then we tried, like when we were shooting weddings, we dropped it down to 10. But even 10 throughout the summer is.
It's your summer.
I got nieces and nephews, and stuff to do. So. Are you
getting back into weddings, Judy?
Yeah, but not a ton.
Not a ton. Just a handful.
Yeah. Just like I'm actually second shooting 2 for a friend in July, and I like second shooting, so I'm totally cool with that. And then I have one of my own in August. So that'll probably be enough for me.
Yeah. Keeps you.
Bob's still going strong.
I like 10 to 15 a year. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, that's still quite a lot, I have a friend of mine who I've been actually culling his weddings this year for him. And he had 40 this year.
But that's what I used to do, It was crazy.
Taking the images that he should keep?
Yeah, what I'm doing, okay, him and his second shooter shoot about 20,000 images per wedding.
And probably all raw, too.
Yeah, all raw. And I'm culling him down. I'm culling him down to...
I had to go there, right?
1,000. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm taking him down to... I'm taking him down to what I would shoot at a wedding.
Yeah. Well, why are you shooting so many images?
They're crazy.
That's what they want to do, right? So.
But obviously, they can.
Like there was one wedding I edited, and no lie, there was like 10,000 reception pictures.
Wow.
I know. Given it was a Jewish reception, and I don't know if you've done a lot of Jewish weddings, but they danced through the whole night, okay? And so it was just like...
I can see that. I mean, you know, like,
crazy.
I can see, you know, every hour if it's changing up.
Yes, and so there was a lot of stuff, but it was like I wanted to shoot myself by the time I got through the rest.
Back in the day, I shot a whole wedding with 10 images.
Oh, my God.
Start to finish.
Well, me, I mean, you know, I did last one I did was 12 hours, and I shot 3,500 images.
Yeah. How many hours?
12 hours. And I don't have a second shooter. I shoot it all myself. So
you pull it down to?
They got 600 and
okay.
I think was what they ended up with, something like that.
That's about what my range is. Shoot 2,000-3,000, call it down to about 700.
Yeah. Yeah. 500 is kind of like the minimum I deliver, and then.
But 20,000,
But you still genuinely love doing weddings.
I do. Yeah, I enjoy doing weddings. I get a buzz out of it.
You enjoy doing weddings.
Yeah, I do. I do enjoy doing weddings, and you know, our workflow, James and I, when James was doing weddings, and your basic workflow probably is very much the same for your commercial work. It's fast. I download.
The base of it is exactly
all Photoshop actions. I do a quick edit. I get my basic down from 3,000 to 800 down in about less than an hour, and then I go through all the images one by one. But it's like I open 50 up at a time, and I just fire those Photoshop actions. That's the same workflow that we used to do back in the day. Still doing it. For the most part, with minor variations. So all the images get a certain customization, but it's done very, very fast. So I'm done a full wedding in about 3 hours, and they get that, and it's a very high profit margin thing. So there's a lot of profit in it, and I enjoy going to the weddings. I don't know, I just enjoy it.
Well, that's like, you know, like when people say to me, because I shoot about anywhere from 700 to 1,000 images for a boudoir session, okay?
Yeah.
But no lie, I can have those culled down and Lightroom edited 15, 20 minutes.
That's
Done.
good.
I'm fast. Yeah. And that's because I know what I'm looking for. I'm going through, getting the images, pulling them out, and my Lightroom edit is really quick on it for the balance and the lighting, and it's done. And that's it.
Cool.
So it's ready to be retouched.
Yeah. Well, you hear these people shooting 20,000. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know.
I couldn't imagine.
Nuts.
But I think weddings are.
How hard it is on your camera.
I think weddings are becoming less of a thing because I just don't think people are getting married and or spending the kind of money that they have in the past. I could be wrong, but that's my guess.
I've seen.
I think it's a smaller percentage spending on those big, huge weddings than there is a percentage.
If I was going to get back into weddings again, and it ain't happening, period. It's not going to happen.
No.
But on a parallel alternate universe, if I was to get back into it, I would just go back to the intimate affairs I did, the small ones.
Yeah.
Charge the base price. 2 hours, and then make my sales from there and upsell.
Charge $500.
That's what I would do, and I would not go back into shooting full weddings.
Those are always the weddings that they turn around and order $3,000 worth or $4,000.
And that's what happens. Yeah. And then, I mean, worst case scenario, I shoot for 2 hours and I edit for an hour, so it's 3 hours of my time.
Yeah.
And I don't make any money off them. I make $500. I mean, for 3 hours. Worst case scenario, right?
Which ain't gonna happen. If
it never happens.
They're gonna
never happen. Actually, when I shot those, the minimum I made was 12. That was the minimum, and everything else was above it. That's why when we left, it was almost like Jesus. I can actually make more. I could probably try to make more money than my base package full day wedding doing these.
James, I shot 2 of those in the last year.
Yeah.
Just go in like, okay, we're gonna keep it real simple. $500, don't have to commit anything. Ordered through the roof. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
It's like maybe I should shoot all my weddings.
I go back to doing that and probably still take Saturdays off.
Mm-hmm.
So So but weddings, baking, fishing, farmers, whatever, wherever the big equipment is.
All great.
You didn't answer. what's some of was there any marketing thing you did this year that?
Yeah, well, I was sort of going to get to that. My ideal day real quick. I get up in the morning, coffee, apples, I read, I write, and then I go to the computer and I write it. I like writing, you know. I don't know if you guys notice I write it.
Well, we all get your blogs and emails, and
I don't know if Judy gets them or not, but I really enjoy writing.
Yeah,
so,
and I read them.
I try and avoid Facebook, emails.
What was the one today? Because when I read the time, I was like, knowledge is power.
So I try and avoid all distractions, and I made a decision a while back. I'm just going to write after, like, I read a page from a book. I'm always reading like a success book or something, and it's motivational, right? Maybe a couple pages. It takes 5-10 minutes. First thing I do is I read something from that, and I have a journal and I write a little bit in there, and then I go to my email and I write my daily email. I wish I could do, and maybe I will down the road, do more of that because I enjoy writing. So,
right.
Then I work out. I do some breathing exercises, and I have an ice cold shower, and then I go have lunch, and go to the studio. Do 2 shoots. Then I'm done.
Every day?
Yeah, every day. That would be. I don't do that. Well, it's Christmas time, so we've been at about that sort of ratio this fall, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But I mean, back in the old days, I was doing 5 to 7 sessions a day.
Wow.
And we were going crazy. We had a real system going down. But I would never want to go back to that because it's just like.
Well, it also kind of saps your creativity, don't you think?
I don't know. I had a lot of energy, and it sort of actually. I think.
No, I don't think you possibly could go back to that lifestyle because it wouldn't be like all you did really back then was you photographed a lot all day.
Yeah.
You're doing so much more now. Right?
You look at people like Sandy Pooch. That's maybe not so much these days, but that was the same sort of approach. She shoots all the time, and she has a lot of output ability. And I don't think I physically can do it because I'm getting older. But
yeah.
I did the doctor's party 2 Saturdays ago, and the next day, holy jeez, I felt like I got hit by a Mack truck. It was awful. I was like, what the hell is this? This is awful. And
one day that's going to happen at a wedding.
No.
You're going to wake up the next morning and you're going to go, what the hell happened?
Maybe yoga to the rescue. I don't know, but
maybe that could be the answer.
Could be. But anyways, my point being that I'm going after more quality, less quantity. So I feel like I'm really reinventing myself. So families and doing a lot of executive shots and all that sort of. Out into ferries. You know, Tina and I were talking the last 3-4 months because ferries are so successful for us. And we got these boys coming in on ferries and mothers coming in on ferry shoots with mothers and daughters. I'm like, holy shit, never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
And it's really, really working out. Well, actually, let me show you the boy. Bears. There we are at the doctor's party.
Right. Yeah, I saw that picture. I recognize that. That's a nice backdrop, the one below it, too.
Which one? Oh, yeah, that's the prom one.
Yes.
You had that. See the dark fairies there?
Yeah.
See, that's new. And mother and daughter, this was in Sault Ste. Marie. This mom comes in and she goes, yeah, I'm going to be photographed with my daughter. I was like,
I really like
never thought of that.
Kid here. I really like this little kid with the sword. I'm like, there's Frodo Baggins.
Yeah. So one girl came in with her baby brother, and I'm like, what the hell are we going to do? So I have this sword and I have the lantern. I said,
That's cool. I would. That's like a Lord of the Rings type look, you know.
Yeah. So we're doing that, and I'm getting some new costumes made. I would love to do more. I struggle with retouching. You know, when I look at this stuff, I am envious because I think I got a long ways to go, and I try not to beat myself up too much. But especially when you talk about somebody like Nikki's work is really well suited for the fairy type work, I believe. So I'm pushing myself down that road some more and trying to combine the two. And it really ties into a lot of what we're talking about. You know, Judy, you talk about where you're going to Like I really feel your boudoir glamour stuff is going to be really linked towards your Photoshop skills, rebranded to a new level. So in many, many ways, that's what I'm doing with the fairies, as well as including different sort of like James shooting farm equipment. Well, the mother and daughter is the farm equipment of the fairy world, and the boys. And now I got this idea with teenage girls, but it's not sexy or anything. It's just, we're going to call it vixen fairies. And I ordered a new outfit, which is going to be custom made. It's going to cost $350, and it's really cute. And it's like something a teenage girl would go, I would love that, you know. But all around, girls, women, young girls, older girls, there's probably an age there where they will no longer want to be a fairy, but for the most part, it's a chick thing.
Chick thing, I know.
They love it.
Photography is a lot of chick things.
Absolutely. Except for mining photography. Who the hell?
Definitely not a chick thing. But
how are you going to rebrand mining photography, James? I mean,
I don't know how I'm going to rebrand it.
Well, you know,
women are the market for weddings, and women are the market, right? So,
absolutely.
You know, that's who you have to appeal to. So all that sort of thing appeals to all of that.
Well, except for what James is.
Yes.
He's mining industrial.
Mine is strictly marketed to everyone.
Yeah. It's like you're doing this for people who are not buying it up. Well, there might be an emotional connection there, but they're really doing it.
I think a lot of it's emotional connection with a lot of my clients. I mean, I photograph their baby, which is something that it's interesting because I'm photographing, like even just last week, I photographed a guy's product that he designed and had it manufactured.
So he's got pride.
Specific, and picked out paint swaths, did his marketing research, and pride. So when I create images of their product and some of the ways that I do, there is an emotional attachment to that.
But it's not the same as the girl thing.
No.
Different set of emotions, but emotions.
Different set of emotions, but it's definitely there though. You think it's a cold industry, but I mean,
black and white.
Everybody's creating something.
Well, you're making them look good, right?
Trying to. Sometimes, a lot of the times, the product just makes itself look good.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, they don't have to know that. It's all you, man. Boy, he's got.
And I'll be honest. I go underground. I see what I'm photographing, and it's like, oh yeah, because I've got specific machines on a bucket list that I wish to photograph.
You actually get excited?
Oh yes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I do, man. A jumbo boom. I love photographing those. They look so badass. They're such a cool machine.
Whatever floats your boat. Whatever blows your hair back, man.
I guess so, right?
But I guess it's consistent with all things in running a photography business when you're talking about emotions and when you're talking about the creative buzz you get when you go in there and you shoot. I mean, otherwise, why would you be in there shooting this sort of stuff if you didn't love it?
Right.
Right?
Trust me, if I was just doing it for the money, I wouldn't be photographing this stuff. You know? I love doing this stuff. It's I think it's the one, honest truth, it's the one thing that's kept me in photography.
Yeah.
Because you know how you say sometimes you want to quit? Yeah. Well, there got to a point where I didn't know what I wanted to photograph anymore. You
hit a wall. And
that's why I didn't want to shoot weddings anymore. I didn't want to do babies and families. Like I just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
But I always enjoyed this, and I'll keep. Am I going to photograph this forever? Probably not. Cool. Right now.
But it'll probably take you in a different direction, right?
That's exactly, and that's where I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, I'll go through another change. And,
I think we all do, though. I mean,
I think you have to, because look at the photographers that have not changed or adapted. Where are they? I don't know, because they're not shooting.
No.
They're baking stuff all the time. All the time. No, all the time. You're just doing it part-time.
You're part-time.
You're just doing it part-time. They're doing it all the time. In other words, they quit photography.
Yeah.
And
either that or they went on the speaking circuit, and that's all they do.
Well, you do that for a while. But there's a set of photographers that are now, I don't want to say any names. I'm not going to say any names. It's like they're really, really big, and they're selling real estate now. I'm like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Actually, quite a few.
Well, there's two ways it can come down to. It can come down to because there's no money in the market for photography anymore, and they didn't market right, or they just lost that edge in photography, and
maybe they hit that down.
You know, and it could have been if they were high on the game in their field, they might have just said, okay, like I want to go do something else now and work my way up that the ladder. You know?
Yeah. I think the photography, they lost their mojo.
Lost the mojo. It happens.
Look at Julie and Guy. Look at Julie and Guy. They're still crushing it, right?
They've been at it for a long time.
Like I slowly look at you guys as the same thing. You guys have always, you never really stopped. You just changed your subjects, but you never stopped. Like you guys have always been. Like I look at around in Sudbury here, and I think with all the photography studios that are around, and I think they're the only one that's left there, Rob, that still has a studio from, like, you know. Yeah,
and we plan on ramping it up because that's what I do, man.
I actually had a boudoir client come all the way from Sudbury this
really nice, awesome.
Yeah,
that's wicked.
She came in and she scheduled it, and she said she just couldn't find the kind of boudoir I did in Sudbury. So there you go.
Something you got going on.
She asked, I know that woman, she asked me to send examples, and I sent her a picture of me, and I never heard back.
So let's wind her down in about 5-10 minutes, and I wanna bring up a final topic, but I want to say that it's been fascinating. We had no idea what we were going to talk about, and it just sort of came out.
Yeah.
Right?
Good.
If anybody's watching this replay and they're like, you know, we didn't know what we were going to talk about, and I hope it was entertaining.
And if they don't enjoy it, well, you know, I say to that, I really don't care, because I'm just here interested in talking to you guys.
Yeah.
I don't care what people's opinions are if you put this out. I'm having fun just talking to you guys. It's interesting. It's interesting how we were all once in the same. Even like we all met through PPO. Well, Rob and I know each other forever. You know what I mean? And we all had similar studios and businesses, and we all seem to have gone
complete different directions,
different ways. And then just hearing each other's struggles and plans and goals.
It's very
interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I agree.
And every time we should have a different hat.
Yeah. But I agree with your assessment, and that's the primary reason why I wanted to do this. But, you know, I think back to myself 35 years ago, Stephen Rudd, you know, anybody who I find inspiring, I could not get enough of, and I always want to hear from other photographers who are doing their thing, because I'm obsessed that way, and one idea is worth a lot.
Sometimes, yeah.
Small hinge opens up a big door. Well, you know, and we're talking about reinventing ourselves, and it just re-inspires me and reinvigorates me and re-challenges me to, carry that torch a little bit higher. Torch is pretty high. Right now, for me, in my life, it's pretty high. Carry it a little bit higher. But you mentioned PPO, and Judy, you mentioned Facebook groups. So I want to close off by just talking about associations and Facebook groups. Something you want to...
You want to touch on that privacy thing you're talking about too there, Judy?
That's it.
Yeah. Okay, well, now, I mean, I know you guys don't shoot boudoir or anything like that, but...
I do a little bit.
But so with boudoir, you know, I might shoot 60 clients a year, and maybe only 10 of them give me permission to use their images.
Right.
So really take the whole permission thing quite seriously. You know, it's built into the contract. Either they give full use, or they give anonymous use, or they give you no use. So it's like, you know, 1 of 3. But an incident happened today in one of the private Facebook groups I'm in, which I won't mention the name. And a photographer posted an image that this is an image of a police officer, and I don't have permission to use this image publicly. And I'm like, yeah, but you're posting it on Facebook. I don't give a damn that it's a private group. You should not be posting that image anywhere on the internet.
Agree.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, this police officers, teachers, lawyers, women that are in those professions cannot have those images out there publicly. Now, all it takes is one friggin' idiot person to screenshot that.
Exactly.
Okay? If you're a member, and now I don't know if people realize this, but if you're a member of a Facebook group and you go into the images in the Facebook, so let's say I posted.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can go into the images and just look at all the images.
Download it.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yes.
And even if it's set to
even if it's set to private, you can download it. Okay.
Just right-click save, right?
When it says private, all it means is that other people can't see
unless they
the
join.
discussions going on in the group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that the people in the group can't take it.
No, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And so it's like.
And I agree. And the fact that he posted and he says, "And I do not have permission for this," he knew it was wrong. She
Right.
knew it was wrong.
Right. And
Otherwise
then
he wouldn't have stated that.
so a bunch of people go in and then a bunch of people go in and say basically what we're talking about here, that it doesn't matter that it's private, and the person responds back and said, well, I didn't think anybody in here would share it. But it's like, that's not the point.
Right.
The point is, once it's on the internet, it's always on the internet. Do not post it. Okay? If you don't have permission and if the client doesn't want you to use the image, don't effing use the image.
So did you voice your concerns in the forum?
Yes, so absolutely, right?
What did other members say?
Well, and all of the other members agreed.
Yeah.
Several of them, voiced their own opinions, and they're all like, you need to take this off, like, right now.
What kind of an image was it?
A boudoir image.
So it was very revealing.
Frontal, you could see her face.
Oh.
Like, I mean, if it was an anonymous image, people would still say it, but it's like, you know what, you can't make out who the person is.
Yeah.
But this was full body. You could see her whole figure, her face, everything. I'm like, what are you doing posting this? Do not post this.
Unless you have full permission
yes.
from that person. You've told them, I'm going to show this to other professionals in the private Facebook group, which doesn't mean it's necessarily private. Sign.
I have an online contract. I use studio management software.
Yeah.
Okay. When I book, it sends them a contract, and it has within the body of the contract a section that they actually can't sign the contract without filling in that section, because it's a required answer.
Yeah.
And that gives them 3 options, and they have to tell me what their option is.
Yeah.
Like yes, no, anonymous, basically. Okay? And so they can't even sign the contract until they answer that.
So you know where they stand. And it's sort of questionable whether or not it's a legal contract as far as a model release is concerned, but at least you could be pretty comfortable using it to promote your photography studio.
Yeah. I mean, my contract is pretty extensive.
Yeah.
Because it covers a lot of different things.
Is it on par with a written model release signed pen?
It's even probably bigger than that, because you're dealing with the private sector. You're not dealing with actual professional models.
Yeah.
So a lot of the contract even comes from some of the wedding stuff. All right? And it deals with, like
cool.
Even hair and makeup, and the fact that I'm not responsible if they break out from the hair and makeup person.
You got everything covered?
Everything's basically covered in it. So
cool.
Their package is covered, their payment plans covered, much like a wedding contract.
Yeah.
But this particular studio management software I have allows you to put in questionnaires and options in there. And so I have it built into it, and it's a required answer.
So what's it called?
It's a Sprout Studio.
Cool.
Yeah. It was developed by Robert Knoll and Brian, can't remember his last name, but they're PPO guys, and they developed software. And yeah, and there's stuff that it's a really good piece of software, and that's what I use because it has galleries in it and it has album proofing.
Sprout
everything.
Studio it's called?
Sprout.
Sprout.
But anyways, so it's just what really I felt was important to get across here is that the internet, not private, okay? Doesn't matter what goes, if you can't, a private group is not a private group. It's like being part of a forum, like the old DWF forum.
Yeah.
And yes, you know, they're paid members and so on, but still, you don't know everybody.
No.
Right? So it's like you don't post it, period, if you're not supposed to.
Cool. Good advice.
Right.
All right, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
That was me. I posted it. I'm sorry.
I
know I shouldn't have.
You're nasty. You're nasty.
Okay, so do we want to, you want to wait to pick dates for the next one, or?
You guys want to do this again?
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to talk more about associations. I'd like to talk a little bit about RAW versus JPEG, but I don't want to talk about it right now.
No,
Let's
we
do
have
it.
enough of them around.
Sure. Let's pick a date. So I am gone. So like January, no problem. But I'm gone. I'm on vacation at the end.
First week of January, I'm good with. Anytime once I get down to Costa Rica, which is January 9th,
okay.
I'm just sitting around picking my nose anyways. No, I'll tell you
So you're
guys.
still going to be able to do them from there, right?
Yeah.
Are you going to do them from there?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bringing down my blue microphone, not this one, the one model down from that. I'm bringing it down, and it's living down there.
Okay.
Last year when I was in Costa Rica, I did not bring a good microphone, and I kicked myself for doing that because I did a whole series of webinars, and I did a whole advanced series with Fuzzy Dunkel.
Yeah.
And I had to rely on the microphone on the laptop. It was insane. It drove me batty. I don't know what I was thinking.
Do you want to do one like before you go, or do you want to do one after you arrive in Costa
First
Rica?
week of January.
Let's meet after.
After what? After January or after the first week?
My birthday's the 15th of January, guys.
We don't want to do it on your birthday because you'll be.
No.
I don't know. Once you guys.
Why would you want on like the 10th then?
The 10th?
January 10th? Tuesday?
Sure. Yeah. That's good
that
with
works
me.
for me.
All right, put it in. Put it in. It's
Okay.
going in the calendar.
Okay, so we'll do it in the evening again?
Yep. Same time.
Same thing.
That channel.
Same thing.
Okay.
All right, guys.
And we'll cover